If there's will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, and me, I have been able to internalize that as a young person for a long time. That if there's the will, there's a way. So how that comes into Salat at the workplace is that if you have the will that you want to pray, I can tell you, even if you're in space, you're in the NASA Air Space Center or something, you'll find a place to pray. You would comfortably find a place to pray. And you will be able to have that, what's it called, a tranquility to say, Mofe Okirun, and you go and pray and come back. The challenge with most of us is getting to that level of will. And I can, like I always say, it's a process. For me personally, I was the first Muslim in the Google Nigerian office. When I joined, the building that we were used to be former NNPC building. And for Jumat, they usually pray Jumat because that building used to be NNPC. So what that means is that there used to be a lot of Hausas in that building before it got burnt and like it got new tenants. So they usually pray Jumat there in the building at the backyard. If they don't pray Jumat there, if you don't make the prayer Jumat there, you go to the Lagos Island Secretariat, which was on that same Kingsway Road, or you go to the MTN office under the bridge. So those two distances, apart from the one in the building, would not take you 30 minutes to and fro. So even if you're a Jumat Muslim, astaghfirullah for saying that, if you're the one that at least ensure that you pray Jumat, you can't really say distance is your excuse of meeting that Jumat requirements. That's very first thing. The second thing was that I could also give excuse to say, in many of meetings, work, all of that. We also usually forget that Salat comes in at a time and leaves at a time. It's not when the call to prayer comes in at 1:25, you have to stand up at that point in time and go and pray. If Salat comes in at 1:25, you can go all the way to 3:50 before you pray your Zoom. So when we are living our lives in the workplace, let us also give room for slack, not slack on that I won't pray, but slack that it doesn't have to be this my own time that I say, oh, I have to pray at this time, but be flexible as the work permits, and go and pray. And there are times that I've prayed Zuhr and Asr together. May Allah accept it. But again, you are being adaptable in the reality of things. It is the same Islam that says that if it's raining at the time of Zuhr, you can combine Zuhr and Asr. If it is raining at time of what's it called? Maghrib, you can add Isha to it, right?
Yeah.
So if in that case Allah permits that, what's the hikmah behind that? The mosque is far, so probably you don't want to go, or the rain will drench you, or something will happen. In that case, Allah understands your intention and your willingness that you want to pray. So even if it's at 4 o'clock or 4:30, your meeting finished and everything, and you have the opportunity, okay, I'm standing up, feel free. I'm proud that I'm still going to pray and praise Joy and Asher together. The other thing that I also did, I didn't want to be giving an excuse of going downstairs at 2 p.m. and then the next 2 hours again, I'm going downstairs again, like going up and down, because you are focused on things like, so alhamdulillah, in my workplace, just like Mr. Mani, it was an open workspace, but we had meeting rooms. So I would just go into one meeting room and I'll pray there. And it became a thing whereby everyone knew that, oh, if Abdul is there, you understand, they can just open PEEP and close the door. At one point, I put on my calendar. So we use calendar at work, whereby if you want to book a meeting room for a meeting, you put on the calendar. So I booked a meeting room as if I am the one that wants to have a meeting, and it was there constant, like it's blocked. So between 1:15 and 1:45, sometimes it is even me, my lack of not taking use of it, that I don't pray. So that room is blocked for me. I can go and pray and come back. But
Wonderful.
those are all semantics, right? The main fundamental is the willingness. If the will is there, you find a place to pray. I've also noticed that when we travel for work and everything, um, I can decide to say, oh, because we just entered Berlin, there's no place for me to pray or something, or I entered Israel, there's no place for me. If I have the will, in the middle of all of that, I'll pray.
Yeah,
I will
I
get the
agree.
opportunity to pray.
I agree.
You could just get to the airport and tell your friends to say, okay, wait for me. You find a place to pray. There'll always be a place, even if it's what's it called? Even if it's a plane, you can also give excuse, say, oh, I was traveling. You can sit down and pray your salat. So overall, I think once we're able to increase our understanding of the role that salat plays in our general Muslim life, and we're able to build that will, that level of confidence, we're able to now dynamically in our life, you understand, fit it in. When I want to use myself, just like she rightly said, I can be excused to go to the toilet, I can be excused for salat. So if I can excuse myself to say, oh, I'm in a plane, I want to go use myself, and they provided toilets in the plane, you can find a place to pray in the plane, right? So overall, I think once we start building some fundamentals individual by ourselves, we will be able to fulfill that salah. And I wouldn't say it's not easy for some workplaces where it is maybe that predominantly non-Muslims and the culture there is mostly antagonistic, but the ways over time you can also build that momentum.